Aetherdrift is finally here. How do the gold borders look in person? What about the super wacky treatments? Can we get a serialized Aetherdrift? Let's crack open some collector boosters and try to find out. It is Aetherdrift time. I'm very excited to see these treatments in person. That is what I'm most hyped about, because some of the treatments, especially the gold border cards, I don't think the internet does them justice. So this is my first time actually seeing them in person, and I feel like they might look pretty cool, but we will see. So we got 5 booster boxes to go through. This is box number 1. We should have, the box topper pack. All right, are we going to be... we got to save it for the end, right? We got to save it for the end. It's got to be a reward for getting through this box. So this set, very difficult to figure out where prices are going to land, because it's hard to tell if this set's busted or if it's the opposite of busted. There's a lot of vehicles. The mechanics are tricky to figure out. So I am really not sure how this ends up, but we're going to get a sense as we crack these open. So pack number 1, Aetherdrift, we get Perilous Snare, extended foil. Quake Feast. All right. Well, not in foil, but in Gorosaurus. This card's wild to me. That treatment does look pretty cool, I guess. The art's super cool. This is like one of the most obvious examples of power creep on a card that I'm not sure is going to be playable. 5 mana 8/8 trample is so big, and you got the cycling ability, but green creatures are just not good in standard. Pima Trailblazer. You really want the commander cards in foil. So if you look through like the collecting article, count on luck. This is actually one of the more expensive rares in the set at the moment. We'll look at Chandra's hair glow. There's our buddy. There's our buddy Loot. Nothing of note in the lower rarity slot in this set, I don't think, as far as value. But yeah, so the biggest winner, obviously serialized Ether Spark, which not likely, but it could happen. And then Japanese Fractured Foil Showcase is number 2. We get Cursecloth Wrappings. I love this card. One of my favorite cards in the set. We do not get the sexy mummy version, unfortunately. I mean, I guess that mummy is looking all right, but but yeah, being able to make a token of anything in your graveyard in a token deck. Hey, there is our artifact birthing pod. Still not sure how good that card is, but it is cool. All right, there we get a Waxen Shape Thief. What is that one? Oh, it's the clone. The downside of this treatment is all these cards look this like at a glance. I mean, I guess this one looks more like a dinosaur, but boy, they look very... I mean, it's weird art with a weird border. Hard to tell those cards apart a little bit. What do we get here? Ooh, Lost Monarch of Ifnir, one of the commander cards. So my understanding of the commander card slot, you can get extended foils like 10% of the time or something. Those are the ones I think are going to actually be most valuable, because remember, a lot of people buy the commander precons, but the commander precons, I feel like this is a good constructed card, Voyager Glide card, but a lot of people buy the precons. You don't get the extended version, you don't get the foils. All right, so now we get the lower rarity showcase cards. We get a mountain, a Razor Mountain, and random commons and uncommons. All right, well, I also think the box topper has potential to be super valuable. It's going to be really hit or miss, because you only get, what, 2 cards or something? And I think one's like a land. I don't know, something like that. But if you hit a high-end one, I think those cards, because they only come as box toppers. Wow! Okay, most expensive card in the set. Is that I don't think that's Fractured Foil. Oh my goodness, look at that Lotus. Oh, that looks so good. Oh my goodness. This card's so busted. The card's like $40 right now. I think the card is even more busted. I think this is like legitimately a broken card that could get banned someplace. Like, oh my goodness. I'm surprised. It was definitely not what I expected from the Lotus. Definitely not at all what I expected. I was expecting some 0 mana max speed thing. Not what I expected, but even more busted than I expected. Regal Imperiosaur. This card currently expensive, although I feel like it probably won't be as expensive once things settle. Mecteshing Core Guidelight. One of the better max speed cards, if you can turn it on. Pianalar, Chief Mechanic. One of the commanders from the energy deck. Wait, is that... Look at that corner. Is that bent? Oh, that's just... No, there's just a very light spot. It makes it look kind of bent, but it's just a light spot in the art. Waste Not Verge. I mean, all the Verges are going to be hits. They're not like super high-end lands, but they are high enough end that we're going to be happy to open them. And then all the lower rarity stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the lower rarity slot that's actually worth enough to make our price calculations. Well, Lotus is a hit. That is a huge hit. And like usual, we'll do our price discount to try to keep it right. Ooh, wow. Okay. Loot the Pathfinder. This card I think is kind of broken. I'm not the biggest loot fan. Actually, kind of the opposite. But I think this card is actually really, really strong. Start blinking it and you just get so much value out of it. Ooh, Gantine Night Minister. Some nice Richard Kane Ferguson art. One of my favorite Magic artists. The thing I love about RKF art is you know it's RKF art as soon as you see it. He just has such a unique style, kind of ghostly. Guardian Sunmare. I wish this card was good. I feel like it's not. I feel like there's too many hoops, but it is a cool design. Nissa World Soul Speaker. I think this card is actually kind of busted. 2 energy for every land, and then for you can pay an energy to cast your spells, your permanent spells. I feel like in an energy deck, this card's so insane. Web Striker Elite, Power Creepy, Reachy, Cycly, Hole Drifter. gotta get the memes in there. Gotta get the memes. Call back to Mull Drifter, obviously. Well, we're about halfway through this box, and I mean, I feel like we're doing okay, right? We got a loot, and we got a Radiant Lotus, so we've hit two of the best opens so far. The other big one, of course, is Aether Spark. Market Back Waka. I feel like this is the worst of the double X artifact creatures we've gotten so far, but it still could see some play. Oil Deep Gear Hulk. I feel like this card's super underrated. I think a 4/4 lifelink Ward 1 is already decent, and then its ETB I think is pretty good too. I feel like people are sleeping on this Gear Hulk in specific, but really Gear Hulks in general. Unstoppable Plan, on the other hand, I feel like people are way too hyped about this card. This is one of the most expensive rares in the set, and I cannot figure out what you do with it. I know people think it's a combo piece, right? That's always the argument. Oh, it's going to be a combo piece, but I haven't figured out how you actually combo with it. I haven't heard anyone explain how you combo with it. So I feel like this, maybe some Mana Rock deck. I don't know. Let me know what you're doing with Unstoppable Plan, because the card's so expensive, and I don't really understand why. All right, random energy commander card. Lifecraft Engine. And, all right, down to the lower rarity stuff. What do you think of these lands? The driving lands are kind of cool, although I don't really understand how a boat is going to win this this race. the random boat. It's bringing a boat to a car race. Like bringing a gun to a knife fight. Or the opposite of that, I guess. What do we get here? Oh, Path Breakthrough Ibex. Okay, so this is our first showcase card. This is actually one of the more expensive. So we really want the Mox. Chrome Mox is the biggest winner, but I didn't realize Pathbreaker Ibex was like a $20 card before it was reprinted. And the art on these looks so good. It's like getting a secret lair card in your booster pack. Full Throttle. More loot. There's so many loots in that. Look at that. Look at that little gremlin. Oh, loot. Burnout, Bastrona. One of the better Start Your Engines cards. Rampaging Aetherid. Burnout, okay, well, I guess we're building a Start Your Engines deck since we have 2 of those. And lower rarity cards. Cool, they brought back Spell Pierce. Not really worth anything because it's been reprinted a bunch, but that is a card that is impactful to Standard. All right, so we are a little more than halfway through box number 1 of Aetherdrift. Still no, okay, Unstoppable Plan. Still no serialized Aether Spark, although I feel like the odds of getting, ooh, that's a nice looking Verge, extended River Pyre Verge. On Wings of Gold, one of the commander cards. Waxen Shape Thief. I feel like this set, it's either going to be overrated or underrated. I'm not sure which it is. I think it's more likely to currently be underrated than overrated, but I think it could still go. It could go either way. Serialized cards, I believe they've gotten scarcer, right? Boom Mobile. Infinite combo, infinite mana payoff. If you make infinite mana, this does win the game. There's some janky combos. Caradora. Possession Engine. Adaptive Omni Tool. Wow, another Radiant Lotus. Okay, well, that's Radiant Lotus number 2 in foil. This is going to be a good box. I think anytime you get 2 Radiant Lotuses in your box, you're off to a good start. But I was thinking about this. So in this set, there's 1 serialized card, right? Only the Aether Spark. That's the only serialized card in the set. In the past, like a year ago, we'd get 5, 10 serialized cards, serialized to 500. So that has to mean they're scarcer, right? Now there's only 500 total serialized cards, when in the past there was like 2,500. So unless they're selling way less boxes, then it's just harder to get a serialized card now than it was. Winter Cursed Rider. Was not expecting Winter to come back as a ghost. The Speed Demon. I actually think this card's pretty good. In Commander, in specific. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good in standard. I'm a little scared in standard that it might just kill you. 4 damage if your max speed is a lot on your end step. Demonic Junker. I think this card's actually insane. So good in Infinity style decks. It's almost Leyline Binding in Infinity decks. Ooh, a Cursed Dune Yard. Nice little callback to Swarm Yard. Regeneration coming back. I wonder. Ooh, Ketramos. Speaking of most expensive cards in the set, Ketramos. That's the top 3, right? Radiant Lotus, the Aether Spark, Ketramos. Those are the big 3 in this set. And not the most special treatment, but this card's so good. So good. I think this one's going to see Modern play. I'm pretty confident it's good enough to see Modern play. Well, all right. We got 3 more, and then our box stopper. Finally a look at the gold border in person. Well, all right, what do we get in this pack? Voyager Glide card. Kind of like a Word of the Inner Sky. I feel like it could be good enough to see play. More Winters. Draconics Engineer. I'm excited for Goblins. Ooh, Sahili. Showcase, I think. Gastral Troll Arrow. That's a hasty vehicle. Yeah, I feel like Goblins could actually be legit in Standard. Now we have Krenko and 2 Goblins that give haste. And like multiple Goblin Lords. I kind of feel like we might actually have a good Goblin deck. Captain Howla, the Sea Scourge. Pretty cool commander. I don't know if it can see standard play, but you can do some cool things within commander in a discard deck. Nuovaya. Mindspring Merfolk. Renewed Solidarity. I feel like this card's kind of crazy. Yes, you can only play it in decks with a bunch of creatures of the same type, but in that deck, being able to do the Ocelot Pride thing of copying all your tokens on your end step is kind of insane. One of the commander cards I'm most excited about. Big insect thing, and then the Jink. All right, last pack of box number 1. I feel like as long as we get a good box topper, this box was really good. Double Radiant Lotus. I mean, we already can't complain. We get a Crypt Caller Chariot. The self-discard theme is one of my favorite parts of the set. That's just not something that's been rewarded much throughout Magic's history. Usually, you get payoffs for making your opponent discard. Pretty rare, though, to get payoffs for making you discard. Definitely going to be cool to try to build around it. Redshift, Rocketeer Chief. I mean, if you ever get to exhaust that, but any number of permanent cards from your hand on the battlefield is absolutely insane. It does cost 12 mana, so I don't know how many permanents you're going to have in your hand at that point, but Valor might be good enough to see some Greasefang play in Pioneer. Random Mana Rock. I like the idea of this Mana Rock. A Mana Rock that can double the counters on your stuff is really cool. I wish it wasn't 4 mana to double the counters, though. A little bit steep. Wow, another Crypt Caller Chariot. Well, I guess we're building the discard deck. All right, well, box 1 good so far, but we got 1 pack to go. We got our box stopper. So I think you get 2 cards in these. Maybe it's 1 card. Well, time for our first look. Oh, it's 1? Is it? Oh, 2. Okay. 2 cards. So let's see how this gold foil looks. Wow. Okay. Swamp. Honestly, it doesn't look that different than it does online, actually. You get some of the shimmer, but it is still pretty gold border. I like the gold border. All right, let's see if we can get some money here. Willow Rush Verge. Okay. Well, I mean, I think the Verge is fine. Verges are playable at least. We could have gotten a worse box stopper. Not the best box stopper. This is yellower than I thought. This actually, honestly, yeah, you get the shimmer of the foil a little bit, but it looks yellower than I thought it would. Would you play these? I know these are so controversial. I like them. I like gold borders, though. I play the old World Championship gold borders just because I think they look cool. So I already think they look sweet, but I'm curious what y'all think, because I have heard a lot of people not especially liking them. Well, on to box number 2. Box 1, I think, I mean, obviously not the best possible box. No serialized card or anything. Box stopper kind of mid, but fine. But I think we ran well with our mythics. That part, at least, we did well. Hitting a double Radiant Lotus. Gonna do that. So I want to say that was a above average box, I would say. All right, box number 2. Pack 1. Collodin Triumph Caster. I think this is one of the cooler vehicle build rounds. Some of the vehicles and mounts we talked about where it's like, oh, that card's really cool. Another Unstoppable Plan. Good for value. That card's really cool, but it's just too much to saddle. It's too much to crew. I feel like Collodin kind of solves that problem. Like with the giving haste and automatically saddling and crewing thing, I feel like that makes it a pretty exciting build around. Maybe it's just a commander thing. Maybe it doesn't make it in standard, but I feel like it's interesting enough to try building around. Ooh, Those Verges do look nice in extended border. Very nice. The Speed Demon, second one of those. Ooh, double. Okay. Double showcase treatment. We've opened a lot of these clones. This clone is everywhere. Another Amplifier, another Verge, and the Jank. So what do y'all think of this set? Are you buying a box? Buying singles? It's a very interesting set. Not exactly what I was expecting. Gas Guzzler. Ooh, foil. Okay. The foil showcase cards are relatively rare. Non-foil, not super rare, but foil I think are pretty rare. Another Winter. This is the card. The Cloden. This is the card I think Cloden might make work. The fact that you can haste this in, have it automatically be saddled, and tutor something out of your library. We'll see if it's consistent enough, but it's definitely a deck I'm planning on building. Ooh, Temet. Knucklemoon's Will. Oh, this is the, okay, not as good one. The other zombie commander is really popular. The one that, like, eternalizes stuff. This one I think is still fine. The other one I think is so many winters. So, oh, wait, I don't know if I've ever done that before. Okay. Both of our showcase cards are exactly the same. So you get two lower rarity showcase cards. I don't know if I've ever doubled up with the same one before. Well, I mean, that's possible, I guess. We still have not seen an Aether Spark. That would be the biggest hit. Where's our Aether Spark? Winters. Oh my God. So many bye again. All right. I feel like we're hitting the same thing over and over again. Angora Zorex. And, well, at least our showcase cards are different this time. This box, I feel like, has not been good so far. This time, I feel like we're hitting nothing. Oh, Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, much more not. Wow! Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Is that fractured? I don't think that's fractured foil. Is it fractured foil? I think we'd know more. Wow. Oh. Japanese Radiant Lotus foil. The only thing that can make it better is being fractured foil, but that is, outside of getting serialized cards, and I guess being fractured foil, I think this is like the best open in the set. I don't think it gets any better. Does not get any better than Japanese Radiant Lotus. Oh, what a cool looking card. It doesn't really look that much like a Magic card, I will say, but it is. Pyrewood Gearhulk. I know I said I thought the Gearhulks were kind of underrated. Not this one. I think Pyrewood Gearhulk kind of sucks. Regiv Rocketeer. Another Pia. Mindspring Merfolk. Well, I mean, nothing else in that pack matters. That's what, Lotus number 3? 3 Lotuses in 1.5 boxes? How many Lotuses can we open? Are we going to have another? Remember our last opening where we did Innistrad Remastered and we just opened so many Meowth Massacres? We opened like 6 Meowth Massacres or something. Voyage Guideclar. The Willow Wash Verge. Possession Engine. Hooker's Yard. Spectacular. How good do you think this card is? Is this good enough to make your commander deck? How much do you value blowing up vehicles and making things loose indestructible? I feel like this card pretty good against green, because green's protection is usually indestructible. Not as exciting against other colors, though, that are like phasing out their creatures to protect them. All right. Last pack of half one of box 2 of Aetherdrift. All right. Count on your luck. This card's actually oddly expensive at the moment. I feel like it's good, but it is triple red. Like, wow, okay. Well, count on your luck. Curse Cloth Wrappings. What a weird, wow, double. We have 2 pairs here. I think I'm gonna raise. Oh, not a bad. Oh, hey, there's our big butted blue octopus. What do you think of the vanilla cycle? I'm glad they did it. I feel like some of the cards could have been more interesting, but they're just uncommon, so I guess how much can you really complain? All right, second half of the box, we get Venwix. Venwix. Verbose Host. I think you're supposed to just add your own vowels in there like Flibblethip. This card also is really expensive, and I don't really see why. Out of all the max speed cards, this is one that, yes, if you get to max speed, it's really good, but it doesn't have any power to help you gain speed. So the decks that would want this, I don't think you're going to damage your opponents enough. I don't know. But I mean, obviously, if you can get max speed, drawing 2 cards every time you draw a card is really good. Marketback Walker. Lumbering World Wagon. This card's pretty good. The fact that it ramps on ETB and attack, I think, might make me play some basic lands in Commander. Etherkite, Cryptcolor Chariot, and the Jink. All right, we're due for a Lotus, or actually an Ether Spark. I take an Ether Spark. They're like equally expensive, and we have not seen an Ether Spark yet. We could just hit a serialized Ether Spark and then retire. Quake Feast. Oh, not great removal. River Pyre Verge. Yes, Guzzler. Oh, there it is. There's the Nissa Part 2. Hazaret, Godseeker. I don't know if this card's busted or not. It dies to some of the common removal. On the other hand, if you can actually like start your engines and get max speed, 2-mana 5/3 haste is kind of very above the curve. Even in 2025, that is above the curve. I feel like there's probably a deck that will play it. I feel like now that we've seen more of the set, you probably want to be a max speed deck, right? I don't know if you just jam Hazaret in like mono red or something, but I think you can build a good max speed deck. Mimeoplasm, revered one. New Mimeoplasm. Combo potential. I don't know if I like it as much as original Mimeoplasm. Cardora, another Mount Tutor. All right. Web Strangulate. I feel like this card's going to drop a lot, though. I'm still not convinced. I know Tom really likes this card for Commander. It seems really sweet if you start doing Academy Manufacturer stuff. Like, once you start making all the tokens, that card can pop off. Thunderous Velocipede. I don't know about this one. The vehicles of this set are so hard to evaluate. Because in my head, I think of vehicles as not being a very good card type. Honestly, maybe discounting battles. I think you could argue that vehicles are the least powerful card type in Magic over the game's history. And there's so many in this set. It makes me think they got to be better than I think, though, because I don't think they do a whole set of just flop. Ooh, boy. The Bob's Burgers Bone Miser. As soon as I saw this card, I was like, that's like early season Bob Burgers art. And it is. It actually is the artist that did the character creation. I looked it up. Actually, Twitch chat looked it up for me. But it actually is the artist that created the characters for Bob's Burgers, which is kind of funny. Bright Glass Gearhulk. Pretty confident this is the best Gearhulk. Yes, they're all hard to cast. That is a downside. But being able to tutor any artifact, creature, enchantment, mana value 1 or less, 2 of them, no less, is really, really strong. Plus, that art's pretty cool. That's another one of the Gearhulks that I think is kind of a sleeper. Lifecrafter's Engine. I feel like people forgot about Bright Glass Gearhulk because it was one of the super early spoilers. And we've seen that in past spoiler seasons where one of the super early spoilers from like 2 months before the set, by the time the set comes out, people sort of forget about it. And I feel like that's happening with Bright Glass Gearhulk because that card's really good. What do we get here? Draconics. Oh, boy, these names. Engineer. It's the hasty red goblin exhaust dude. Regal Imperiosaur. Currently expensive. Dinosaurs today. Dino deck incoming. Lost Monarch of Ifnir. Market Walker. We've seen a few of those. Well, all right. Box number 2, I think worse than box number 1, but we still have the box stopper, which could save. I think the best box stoppers are in like the $100 range. Maybe even more than that if you get like a Lotus or something. Like if you get one of the really, really high end. But I think even a good one is like $80 right now or something. So we should get a land, I believe. It's a Golden Plains. And, well, come on. Lotus? Ooh, all right. Oil Deep Gearhulk. That one actually looks pretty sweet. That one looks, less yellow. Wait, is this? Oh. Wait. This might be extra special. I feel like there's multiple treatments of yellow border. Because this doesn't have the full yellow border. Well, we better hope this card's actually good now. We better hope it actually is a sleeper. Because if it is, this version's probably going to be expensive. All right. I mean, I feel like we've run okay. We've run okay with our box stoppers. We haven't run like insane. Although even just hitting a mythic means we're running pretty good. All right, box. Ooh, camera. Stay. There we go. Box number 3 of Aetherdrift. So far, I think box number 1 really good, or at least good. Box number 2 kind of medium to bad. I'm gonna say bad. Hopefully, box number 3 does a little better. All right. Here, we still need an Aether Spark. I can't believe we haven't hit an Aether Spark. Actually, it's only been 2 boxes. I do believe it, but I would like, even if it's not serialized, I just want to hit an Aether Spark. All right, Golgari Verge, Market Walker, Doretti on Wings of Gold. Seen a couple of those. District Mascot. I know Krim loves this card. I feel like this card's good in counter stacks, but I don't think it's like that busted or anything. It seems good. I think blowing up artifacts is going to be pretty relevant in this standard. We're coming from a standard where blowing up enchantments was really important. And I think we're entering a standard where blowing up artifacts and enchantments going to be important. We've hit this as our first card a lot of packs. I think that's our third one. I mean, I think Voyager Glidecar is fine. Captain Howla, some shark action. We really need a card with loot jumping over Captain Howler. That's I want that, Watsy. Can we get loot just hopping over Captain Howler? District mascot, adaptive omni tool, another redshift. I don't think these lands. It's so hard to know. The lands might be worth $1 or $2. There's so many. I feel every collector booster now has one of these special extended lands, which I feel like keeps any of them from getting too expensive because one person prefers one set, another person prefers another set. Cryptcaller Chariot, Spectacular Pileup, Gastral Thrill Rider, Renewed Solidarity, another one of those. What tribe is best to play this with? You need a tribe that is in white and makes tokens. Cats? Cats could be good. I could see cats. What else are token-based tribes? I feel like that card's so cool, though. The design I just really love. Well, what do we get here? Okay. Well, we're going to have a playset almost of these Verges, which is not bad. Mimeoplasm, another Chariot, another Amplifier, and Thunderous Velocipede. Do you think Velocipede's actually good? 3 mana 5/5, crew 3 trample. And then each other vehicle enters with +1/+1 counter on it if its mana value is 3 or less. Otherwise, 3 +1/+1 counters. So it's going to make your team pretty big. It can come down turn 2 off of Llanowar Elves. Maybe. I feel like there's a lot. This has a lot of good green cards that I'm skeptical of just because I'm skeptical. Oh my god. Oh, what is that? What card is this? Okay, so Japanese Showcase. 5 mana. Oh, is this the bad sweeper? It's gotta be, right? What else is a 5 mana Boros card? I think this is the. It's in Japanese, and all the car art looks the same. So I think this is the 5 mana sweeper, which I don't think is going to be worth much of anything. But the Japanese Showcase cards are rare enough that maybe it's worth a few bucks, or maybe it's a different card altogether because it's in Japanese, and I don't. And I don't know the set that well yet. Culloden. Okay. Boros pack. Boros. Okay. That fits in the deck. A vehicle to go with our Culloden. And, Saheeli. That ruins it. Draconics Engineer. That fits. Oh, we could almost build a deck out of this pack. Some sort of Boros Vehicles deck. Do you think there'll be a Vehicles deck in Standard? I feel like last time we had Vehicles in Standard was original Kaladesh, right? And we had the Boros Vehicle deck that was legit really good with Smuggler's Copter, Heart of Kirin, Gideon. We get a Beastie. Possession Engine. That is cool. I will say, some of the art in this set's really cool. Even on cards that aren't that good, like Possession Engine, the art just looks neat. The style. Far Fortune. End Boss. Pretty Mad Maxi. Another boy, a lot of duplicates in these packs. Another Pia. Another Winter. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, I'm starting to worry. I feel like our first box was good because we hit all the Lotuses, but these last two boxes, I feel like we might be getting wrecked this time, which I guess we're doing. We hit another like 5%er on a showcase card or a special guest card, but it is again the Ibex. We love the Ibex. It does look cool. Full Throttle, Perilous Snare with some more loot art. This card might be good. Giving all your creatures fly or cycling, although it's cycling for 2. If it was cycling for 1, I'd be more intrigued. Another Verge. All right, we got about 5 packs to go. We need some value out of this, though. We ran so well during Innistrad Remastered that I feel like we're due for an opening where we just lose a bunch of money. They can't all be that good. Boom, Mobile. Or maybe we hit a serialized card, and none of this matters. Winter, with some Demonic Junker action. Another Lost Monarch. And Gorso Rex. We've got a bunch of those. Look at that. Look at that shark. Well, I guess Luke could jump that, too. Just jump one of them. All right. What do we get in this bag? Spectacular Pileup. Ooh, Hazoret. I don't know if I've seen this showcase Hazoret before. That does look cool. Hopefully Hazoret's good. Hopefully Start Your Engines is good. If Start Your Engines flops, another Nissa. If Start Your Engines flops, it's going to really hurt this set because there's so many There's so many Start Your Engines cards. Exhaust I don't think can flop because it's kicker basically on the battlefield. So I don't know how it can really be bad. But Start Your Engines, because it's kind of parasitic, right? You probably need a bunch of them to make it work. If the mechanic flops, the set's gonna kind of flop with it. Regal Imperiosar, foil extended. Radiant Lotus, okay. There's a Lotus. Lotus number, what, 4? I think it's our 4th Lotus in 3 boxes, which is still... Lotus a box is kind of insane. Still no Aether Spark, though. Mindspring Merfolk. Curse Dunyard. So many spectacular pile-ups. I think it also somewhat depends on the treatment. Like, maybe we get so many spectacular pile-ups because you can get it in, like, every treatment or something. I don't know. Well, 2 packs and then a box stopper for box number 3. Ooh, Salvation Engine. I don't know if this card's insane or unplayable. It's insane when it works. Like, Tempered Seal your team and then attack, reanimate an artifact. That's kind of really powerful. Crew 6, though, is a very big number. Quagbeast. Valor's Flagship. I feel like this one's got to be good. The cycling mode's good. The vehicle mode's good. Probably the best reanimation target vehicle. And we do have some vehicle reanimation. Another Curse Cloth wrappings. And some jank. Well, last pack of the box. Let's get the Aether Spark. Serialized, preferably. Given the choice, I will take serialized. Come on, Wadsy. Come on, Wadsy. Or Captain Howler. Lou. Ooh, Samet. First Samet driving force. I feel like this card's busted, but it's also 6 mana. It's busted in a Start Your Engines deck. Venwix, Vanwax, Venwactix, Verbizos, back again. Rampaging Aetherhood. I feel like there's a lot of rampaging cards in Magic. Monument to Endurance. This is another one of those discard payoffs. Maybe the best of the discard payoffs. Definitely going to be building a deck around it. Monument. All right. Well, here we go. Down to the box stopper. We need a hit here. I feel like we got 1 Lotus out of this box, but still, overall, I don't think a high value box. All right, so land is Schwamp. The yellow border does not look exactly swampy to me. And Lotus. Voyaging Glidecar. Well, I think that's our worst box topper so far. Okay, we have 2 boxes to go, and hopefully they're picking it up a little bit, because I feel like my guess is, and it's hard to tell right now, my guess is box 1, we came out ahead. Box 2 and 3, I feel like we're probably running pretty behind. Maybe this is not a very high value set. And we're in pre-sales, where prices are inflated. Well, all right, here we go. Box number 4 of Aetherdrift. Well, this pack feels oddly thick to me. Does that mean we have a serialized card? No, it is a Burnout Bastronaut, Farfortune, Lumbering World Dragon. Yeah, so many Nissas in the commander's eye. Hey, first Maraganda Way. How busted do you think this card is? Obviously, Ancient Tomb is busted. Ancient Tomb that does not cost life, even more busted. But can you turn it on fast enough? Can you get up to max speed in time to make it relevant? That is the challenge of that card. I feel like it's got to be good in Commander at least, at a minimum. Lumbering World Wagon. All right. Simic Verge. Do you think they'll print 10 more Verges? Because in theory with Verges, you can print another Simic one, right? And just flip it. So you make green and by default, and then you make blue if you have an island or whatever. I feel like eventually, probably not super quickly, but Bassery. Good for a cat deck. And some jank. All right, packs. We need some values. We need some values. I know this pile of cards over here, it looks very sketchy. It's not actually, well, maybe it's kind of sketchy. Maybe a little. Oh my God. Oh, Japanese foil sexy mommy. All right. I imagine this card's expensive. It's probably expensive because of the meme of the mummy, and the card's actually good. I still don't think it's fractured foil. I think the fractured foils are super rare, though. I was looking in the collecting article, and I feel like any of these are rare in Japanese, because only 1/3 of them in English boosters are in Japanese, but then like 5% or something are fractured foil instead of normal foil. Still, that is a hit. We will take it. Collodin, Lifecrafter Engine, Aetherflux Conduit, Boom Mobile. There's our... I think the green vanilla is the least exciting to me, because green already gets big creatures. Like, a 5-mana 9/7 in green is kind of like, eh. At least the other ones, you're kind of like, wow, that's the biggest stats I've ever seen. That one, you're like, eh. It's like a smaller Giganosaur. At least it's easier to cast, but what do we get here? Another one of the clones. So many clones. Gonti. Night Minister. Gonti's a cool card. I feel like Gonti is going to be Salvation Engine again. I feel like Gonti is going to be one of the most expensive commander cards from the set. Or most popular. Maybe not most expensive because it's a rare, but most popular. I feel like a lot of people are going to build Gonti decks. Gonti's a character people like, and the playstyle seems fun. Regal Imperials. We've gotten a lot of those. Mu Yangling. Oh, this card's so disappointing to me. It feels just like bad enduring curiosity to me, but maybe it plays better than it looks. Zahar, Glory's Past, one of our racers. What is the 2-drop cycle called? I think they're racers, something like that. And random vehicles. You do get a lot of vehicles. I will say, if Wizard's goal was to make the set feel like race cars and vehicles and so forth, it does come across. Like, just opening these packs. Ooh, so wow, look at that Salvation. That's like Transformers Salvation Engine or something. I don't even know what to think of that art. I don't even know is that the vehicle? I don't even know what's going on there. Okay, it looks cool though. Riverton Monument, the creamiest card of the set. I think this could be a combo mill card in standard. Mill's another deck I'm excited to build. Angora's Zorax, Priest in the Crossings, and Gas Guzzler, Ben Stiller, the Zoolander of the Apocalypse. All right, we're about halfway through. I don't know. This box also is not jumping out at me as being high valued. I feel like we're getting a bunch of cheap vehicles. Oh, maybe Speed Demon Showcase foil. I mean, maybe the high end cards are just enough to carry. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe it's like the mythic foil showcase stuff. Maybe the value's still going to be good because of that. Heshitons. Oh, this is, was that in foil? I honestly think this card's going to be really expensive. So usually you get non-foils in this slot, but they upgrade to foil every once in a while. This is the most expensive, or most played legend from the set. If you look at like EDH Rec, this is the one that most people have built decks around. Only way to get this card, extended foil, in collector boosters. I bet this card's actually pricey, because I think there's going to be people that want to bling out their Heshton deck, and this is a version. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I'm curious how expensive that actually ends up being. That's one of the upsides of opening collector boosters. They cost a ridiculous amount compared to normal boosters, but you can get cards that end up being oddly expensive just because there's no place else to get them. Afterburn Expert, I think that could see play. I think you could build a deck around it. You got to be an exhaust deck, but in an exhaust deck, a 4/2 that just comes back into play whenever you exhaust from the graveyard, not even like can't block or tapped or anything, seems like a pretty reasonable card. Spectacular buy-up, so many spectacular buy-ups. Riptide Gearhulk, maybe the best Gearhulk for Commander. I feel like in a blink deck, this card's kind of wild in Commander. Just tucking something of everyone's and then blinking and doing it. I want to just blink it a bunch of times and tuck your entire battlefield. I guess you can't get lands, unfortunately, but Venowix, Vanderbos, Verbos, Homunculus. I still don't understand why that card's so expensive. All right, we got 3 packs left and then our box stopper. Are we going to go through 5 boxes and not get an Ether Spark? That's insane. I mean, I guess we can't complain a ton because we did open a lot of Lotuses so far. But not having any Ether Sparks is kind of surprising. Maybe we just get a box stopper Ether Spark or serialized. How about serialized, Watsy? Zahar, Glorious Past, Monument to Endurance, Cardora, Prophet of the Scarab God. We got a lot of Captain Hollers. Can you build a Captain Holler standard deck is a real question. I know I'm building one for Commander Clash. I'm going to play it on Commander Clash, and the deck looks really fun. I'm very excited to try the Commander version. I don't know about standard. There might be enough like fear missing out stuff to make it worth it. Cryptcaller Chariot, Avaya, The Last Ride. I feel like Vehicle Death Shadow is actually a trap. At least for like modern. Maybe in standard it's fine because we don't have a Death Shadow. But I'm just not convinced that a Death Shadow deck in like modern or legacy has enough creatures to crew a Vehicle Death Shadow. Saheeli, Radiant Curator, Unstoppable Plan. I mean, we'll take the Unstoppable Plan. All right, well, that's the last pack. Box stopper time. We need something good because I feel like that was another low value box. All right, what do we get here? Boom. Forest. Would you play these? I would play them. They're just going to be so hard to get. Like, can you imagine It's kind of like the secret lair problem. Some of the secret lair lands look cool, but do you really want to spend the amount that you have to spend to get enough of them to make like a commander deck out of them? I would play a full deck of these, but I don't know if I want to spend box topper prices. All right, big hit. Thopter Fabricator. Well, I don't know if that's a big hit. It's a card, and it's yellow. Look at the stars. See how they shine for you. All right. Where did my scissors go? I lost them. All right. We'll do it the old-fashioned way with our hands. Blast box. It's good luck to just tear into the wrapping with your fingers. Hopefully. We need a serialized card. We've reached the point. We're in our last box. I feel like we need to hit the serialized card to carry this one, or something really good in this box. I feel like, all right, save the box stopper. Well, here we go. Last box of Aetherdrift. Lots of Lotuses. Not many Aether Sparks yet. What do we get here? Cardora. Also has cool art. I feel like I've said that a lot. Bulwark Ox. Renewed Solidary. Summit. All right. Well, no Aether Spark there. Serialized or otherwise. We have hit a few Japanese showcase cards. Maybe those will be worth enough. Winter. We've hit a lot of winters. So many winters. Unstoppable Plan. So many Nissas, too. Like, an odd amount of Nissas in the commander slot. It almost makes you wonder, and I'm sure it's just variance of, like, opening not a huge number of boxes, even though 5 is a lot, but, like, in the grand scheme of boxes, it's not a lot. I wonder if all the cards are the same rarity, though. Like, could Nissa somehow be more common than other? It doesn't make sense that it would be. Ooh. March of the World Ooze. Not in Japanese, but looking good in the showcase frame. Magic has gone. Look at the art on that. It's just so goofy. I like a lot of the goofiness, actually. Riptide Gearhulk. Okay, that's a good one. Winter. Oh, winter will not go away. We are cursed by the ghost. The ghost of winter will not leave us alone. It will not leave us alone. Winter is such a random character to appear out of nowhere and stick around. Serialized? Curse Claws wrappings. All right, Bleachbone Verge. I think that's our first Orzhov Verge we've gone so far. Another Webstrike Elite. Not bad value-wise. Pia. Not foil. Quag Feast. I wonder if Quag Feast can see play anywhere. Choose a creature, planeswalker, vehicle, mill 2 cards, then destroy the chosen permanent if its milling value is less than equal number of cards in your graveyard. So it's 2-mana sorcery speed removal. Fell. But you get the upside, that you can hit vehicles or planeswalkers, but you get the downside, that you need cards in your graveyard, but, you get the upside, that it puts cards in your graveyard. I imagine it's not very good. I imagine it's, like, maybe in the right deck playable, but I imagine it's not, like, super high-end playable. On the Wings of Gold. Well, there's our first Sepsunin. One of the other kind of expensive mythics in the set. I think it's like $15 currently. Although, again, the price is going to come down, so it might actually be like $8 or something. Skyseer's Chariot. Pretty good hate card. I think being able to tax activated ability could let us see play. Birthing Pond for artifacts. Fearless Swashbuckler. Riding the Shark. Prophet of the Scarab. All right, another Verge. We've got a decent amount of Verges, which is nice. They're not like super expensive. It's nice with Verges. We kind of get a pretty good sense of how much they're going to cost because we already have them from another set. So pretty easy to look back at Duskmorn and just make a comparison. So I imagine they're going to be like $5 to $10. Hey, it's the Siege Rhino vehicle. I have to build a deck with 34 of these in Standard. just for memes, but I think this card might actually be good. I mean, it's a 6/6 trampler for 4. You do got to crew it for 2. It's a vehicle. But then when you enter, it gets a Siege Rhino's trigger, essentially, drain for 3. Curse Cloth. We've got a lot of Curse Cloth wrappings. Hopefully that card actually ends up being busted, because we have a pile of them. Boros Verge. We have a pile of Curse Cloth wrappings. We are about halfway through this box. We need an Aether Spark. That's all I care about at this point. I don't even care if it's serialized. Last Ride, Showcase. Ooh, Temet. Nukamon's Will. I don't even care if it's serialized. I want to hold an Aether Spark. We're running out of time, Magic Gods. I want me an Aether Spark. 4 packs, and then a box stopper. Aether Spark. Well, alright. Vunwaxed. Coldstoke Gearhulk. I feel like this is I feel like this card's actually kind of good, but it's only going to go in like a specific deck. It's got to be like the top end of an aggressive mid-range deck. that also has like Fear Missing Out or like a Delirium deck in the right shell, I think it's good. Like some sort of Rakdos Delirium deck in Standard, Jund Delirium. Outside of that shell, I don't think it's good enough. That is a very green Owl Squad heavy. Oh, this card's actually huge, though. This is the card that makes me think Goblins might be back. I feel like this card is the card that does it. Being a 3-drop that gives all your Goblins haste and curves into Krenko, Goblin's going to be like one of the first decks I built. I feel like Goblin's going to be good. Riverturn Monument. I feel like they at least have a chance to be good. They still have the problem that creature decks have, right? Which is there's a lot of removal, and you got to be able to rebuild after Sunfall or stop a Sunfall. So maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's a deal breaker. But I feel like there's enough good Goblins. Hey, okay, we'll take a loot. We'll take a loot. Extended loot. God, loot. Loot. Wastewood Verge. Sunmare. We've got a lot of these too. A lot of Lost Monarchs of Ifnirs. Siddhavarma. And the Jank. All right, 2 packs. 2 packs. We need an Aether Spark. 2 packs to go, and then a box stopper. All right, here we go. Angorasaur Rex in foil. Showcase. Monument of Endurance. Lumbering World Wagon. Adaptive Omni Tool. When a creature attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You reveal an artifact card from among them. Put in your hand the rest on the bottom in a random order. +1/+1 for each artifact you control. That could be alright in an artifact deck in Commander. Wootwaxed. There's so many different ways to say it. There's so many different ways. All right. Well, last pack before the box topper. Aether Spark. Market Backwalker. Boommobile. Subterranean. Oh, God. All right, Bearby. How are you, buddy? Are we going to get something good in this box topper? Can we get something good? Can we get something good, buddy? Yeah, what do you think? Are we going to get something good? Are we going to get something good? All right, Bear's here for moral support. For our box topper, it's going to be Aether Spark. Is there even a golden Aether Spark? There's got to be, right? Well, we're going to find out in a minute because that's definitely what this card is. So, basic, forest, okay, looking good. And golden Aether Spark, Magic Gods, come on. Bulwark Ox. Well, okay, so I don't know how we did so far. My gut reaction is I think this went pretty poorly. Maybe it'll look better once we add all the prices up. You already know because I add them up as we go along. My initial gut reaction, though, is box number 1, I think, was pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5, I feel like we're all average to pretty far below average. When you add that all together, I think we got wrecked on this one. I think we got wrecked, which probably deservedly because Innistrad Remastered, we got so lucky. So we're due to get wrecked on one of these, but I'm going to add it up and I'll be back with a wrap up. All right, future Seth here to wrap up our Aetherdrift collector box opening. And this should be about the easiest wrap up that I've ever done because the TLDR is Aetherdrift kind of sucks. If you look at our boxes, we opened 5 of them. $1,400 a sealed product. Our first 2 actually came out slightly positive in value, but more on that in a minute. The latter 3, we lost around $100 a piece on them. So if you add it all together, $1,400 a sealed product, we got back like $1,100 something in value, and that doesn't even take into consideration if we sell these cards, there's shipping, we got to take the time to sell them, there's going to be fees. So I would say all in all, we probably lost at least $500 on this opening, maybe even more than that, and that is completely fair. Opening boxes always going to be a risk, and we got super lucky last opening with Innistrad Remastered, so we're about due for a bad opening. But I will say, I think the problem really is that the set just doesn't have enough value. Normally in a collector booster pack, the most valuable slot is the first card you see after the token. That's a slot that can have the showcase cards, the special guests, the serialized cards, and usually there's good value in that slot. I was absolutely shocked at how often in that slot had a literal bulk card in it. We opened a lot of collector boosters for like $30+ a piece. They had like $0 in value in them, which was really painful. The real reason, though, that I think this set is just not a good set to open is actually the first 2 boxes, the 2 positive value boxes. So box number 1 plus $50 in value, box number 2 plus $35 in value. Why were these 2 good boxes? The reason that I think you should probably not open a box of Aetherdrift, and the answer is the reason why those boxes had had good value. And the reason was we opened literally the most expensive non-serialized card in the set, Radiant Lotus Showcase. Box number 1, we get the English version for $125. Box number 2, the Japanese version for $175. If you take those two Lotuses out of the opening, those first two boxes look exactly like the last 3 boxes, like losing $100+ in value. So I think we really just got lucky and hit the best card in the set in those boxes, and that kind of carried the first two. In just opening a Radiant Lotus, it's not actually enough, because in box 3, we opened a normal foil Radiant Lotus, and we still lost $100 on this box. So it is possible to come out ahead opening Aetherdrift. You just have to open one of the most valuable cards in the set with the most valuable treatment in the set, and then you got a shot. But it seems like the average box is going to lose you a lot of money. So anyway, that is Aetherdrift. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching me get wrecked on this one. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Oh yeah, if you need any of the cards we opened today, you can snag them from our sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. And if you need to sell some cards, you should head over to cardconduit.com/mtggoldfish. Looking for even more magic? Well, check out our Innistrad Remastered opening here, or maybe the video where I bought a collection from someone who slid into my DMs.